Can dropping your calories actually build more muscle? Well, sometimes it can. Watch this.
Our next caller is Brandon from Georgia.
Brandon, what's happening? How can we help you?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good, man.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Good. So before I start, just the usual, I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. I've been listening to you guys for like 5 or 6 years now. I'm 23, so I started listening to you guys around when I was 17 or 18. And so you guys have given me a lot of knowledge in my fitness journey. But not only that, but also being 23, not to get too deep here, I didn't really have a father figure growing up. So listening to you guys' stories about, how you handle your kids and like, especially now that I'm getting older into being, transitioning into being like an actual man, you guys have taught me how to be a good man, and not just a good man, but also a good father. So, I mean, I'm way far from having a kid, but thanks to you guys, listening to you guys' stories with your kids and how you treat them and how you just go about being a father. It's giving me a lot of insight for when it's my turn to do that. And so thank you guys.
Huge.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a huge
awesome
compliment.
Thank you, bro.
Very humbling. How can we help you, man?
So I have a few questions, and I feel like I have 3 questions, but I feel like questions 1 and 2 kind of tie into each other. So I'll just kind of go off on them. So basically, to kind of give a little bit of a background, I've been active since I was a freshman in high school. So since I was 14 years old, I did wrestling, cross country, and track. With those being super high intensity, like cardio sports, I was always at a super low weight. And then especially with wrestling, having to stay at that low weight. Fast forward, I get out of high school and then I start weight training actually. And then, I start gaining weight and everything like that. So I've been weight training since I was about 17 or 18. I'm 23 now. I competed in powerlifting twice. At my peak strength, I was 130 pounds. My max squat was 375, bench was 265, and deadlift was 465.
Wow.
Yeah. Last time I competed was in 2021. I actually recently, last week, just signed up for another powerlifting competition coming up in February. So I'm about 16 weeks out. And so as far as like my training goes, I've always switched to more of a power building style training, still focusing on staying strong in the big 3. So with all that being said, my first question is calories have always been a struggle for me, and I've always naturally been a skinny kid. So it wasn't until like this year, like starting in January, end of last December, that I really started like my first actual bulk. I was always kind of like main gaining, but this was last year was the first time I started my first bulk. And I went from 132 to 149 in like 6 to 7 months from like January to August.
Wow.
So listening to you guys' podcast and like being health conscious myself, I do a really, really good job at eating like whole foods. But I want to eat more so that I can gain more weight, but like eating any more food than I do now just feels impossible, considering like I said, it's literally like all whole foods. I don't eat like any like frozen foods, processed foods, junk food, anything like that. And I also don't have too much time to stop and eat at work because I'm a server at nights. And then during the day, I'm a photographer at a studio. So I'm like on the floor. So I don't know, what advice would you guys to have to get more calories in?
Do you know what your body fat percentage is at, Brandon?
I don't know. If I had to guess, it'd probably be around like maybe 17%.
Okay.
Like I can still see veins. I've definitely gained a lot more weight. But I'm still like, the abs are slowly disappearing, but you can still see veins when I have like a everything like that.
Doug just pulled up a picture.
You're leaner than 17%.
Yeah, you're like 14.
Yeah.
So there's a couple ways you can approach this. All right. One is, this is when adding either a hyper palatable meal or a shake can be very valuable. Okay. So that's one approach. The second approach is to go on a cut and then go back on a bulk. And what that does is it does resensitize your body to calories. It does resensitize your metabolism a bit. Your metabolism's fast. I mean, you're eating, at a body weight of 149 pounds, you're eating about 3,000 calories a day. I get it. Like adding 500 calories, even if a shake, is going to feel like you're stuffing yourself. So if you go on a cut for like 6 weeks and drop maybe 3-4% body fat, then go back and reverse it, what you'll get are these kind of like these gains that come from a metabolism that slowed down a little bit, and the fact that you resensitize your body. Now, you said you're a naturally skinny kid. That might be scary to you to try to go on a cut. But when you come out of it, you're going to get some gains in strength and muscle that are going to feel amazing. It's the most anabolic I've ever felt my entire life was coming out of a cut. It's like your body's a sponge, and you just want to build at that point. And then 3,000 calories after a cut all of a sudden becomes super anabolic. So, and it's just what happens when you stay in a bulk or a cut for too long, the body does adapt after a while. And it's almost like it just doesn't want to react. And so even someone who's cutting for a long time, we often have them do a bulk for a short period and go back to a cut. So I think a cut for 6 weeks or so, then go back on the bulk, I think that's a great option. The other option, like I said, would be a shake. Add a 500 calorie shake to what you're doing at the end of the day, and that'll probably put another 3 to 4 pounds of muscle on your body.
I agree with your first advice. I think that's spot on. And I wish I understood this when I was your age. I was still trapped was super insecure about being skinny and small, that there was no way someone could convince me to do a 6-week cut. Like I just, that the thought of, losing 10 pounds, it was so hard to add to my body just seems so scary. And I'll never forget when I finally went on my first cut of my life, which wasn't until my late 20s. And I'll never forget losing like 10, 15 pounds and leaning out and struggling with it, like insecure wise, like, oh my God, I'm getting small. And like, I just know I was getting ready for prepping for doing a show right before I'd ever done anything. Like, I just wanted to see if I were to compete, what it would be like. And so I knew I needed to get shredded. And the irony was, I started to have people walk up to me and tell me that, have known me for, oh my God, bro, you're getting huge. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm losing weight. I've lost 15 pounds and I feel skinny. I'm not filling my t-shirts out, but people were complimenting me like I was bigger. And thank God for that, because that's what helped keep me focused on, okay, I'm obviously don't look like to everybody else like I'm shrinking. I'm going to just keep going this direction. And then when I reversed and went back the other direction to a bulk, boy, it was easy to increase the calories. The weight came on, and when the weight came on, it got allocated right to building muscle. It was like the best thing I ever did for myself.
It's a great feeling.
It is, and it's the hardest part will be psychologically fighting through it when you have been the skinny kid who's always tried to put on weight, and you probably for the first time in your life feel like you've got some decent size to you, and then here we are telling you, go the other direction, get lean again, get smaller. Trust the process. If you do that for 6 weeks, you trust what we're telling you, it'll be one of the best things you ever did when you reverse and go the other direction again.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was definitely always the one to like, it kind of like the opposite of like when you like have somebody who wants to lose weight and you put them on like a bulk to like speed up. I was like never like, I don't like ever want to go on a cut to the point where I was like, I didn't even like, I tried my hardest not to expend as much calories, like doing like no cardio at all. Like, just like, I always wanted to, I was basically have been like trying to bulk for like the last like 6 years. And like the thought of like a,
Brendan, you're me and Adam.
Yeah,
it's 100%.
Yeah.
Literally,
This advice is perfect.
literally 6 week cut. You don't have to, don't be aggressive about it. Like a 500 calorie deficit, 600 calorie deficit, 6 weeks consistently. Ignore your ego because it's going to freak out, because you're going to drop water weight right away. Right away, you'll drop 4 pounds on the scale from water, and you're going to freak out. Oh my God. You'll see some strength loss because you don't have as many calories. Don't freak out. But then when you reverse, it's going to be like, holy cow, I am just building muscle like never before.
Sponge.
Yep.
Now, would you, like I said, I'm 16 weeks out from a powerlifting competition at the end of February. Would you recommend doing that now or after I finish?
What weight class are you going to compete in?
I have some leeway, so I forgot what it is in kilograms, but I'm 143 right now, and I can get up to 148. That's my cap.
Oh,
so I was just gonna plan on like bulking up to 148, but like I said, it's been hard to like.
This is going to be iffy. You have 16 weeks. Then in that case, I would do a shorter than 6 weeks. I would do a cut for like
4 weeks.
Yeah, 3 to 4
That's
weeks.
still plenty of time.
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, then go back on the bulk, and you should get. I mean, here's the deal: if you train really well, you might maintain your strength. During the cut. If you can maintain your strength during the cut, you're going to come out really well when you reverse out 3 to 4 weeks from now.
We got 16 weeks is plenty of time. That's still going to be 3 months of training after he's done the cut. Yeah. So literally do the cut for 4 weeks, even though I'd love to see you do it for 6, do it for 4, When you come out, go to the bulk, do the bulk all the way to the end of the power, and then after the powerlifting meet, do the 6-week cut again after that.
Yeah. Now, don't do this during the cut. Don't think to yourself like, okay, I'm cutting. I got to go burn a shit ton of calories. Don't do that.
No.
Train like you normally train. Maybe even reduce the volume a little bit. And then when you go out of it, you should see some really. You should break PRs within a few weeks post cut. When you get back in the bulk.
Okay. And now my second question, it also kind of ties into now with like the training part of it. So considering the fact that I've been working out for like 5 years now, my newbie gains, I feel like are like long gone, and since I stopped powerlifting, but now getting back into it, I found it a little bit hard to get back to where I was strength wise to like my peak of it. I'm starting to see the strength coming back since I've been basically like studying like exercise science and all that. Like I know I basically cut my volume, I would say, in half. I usually do like 2 sets of like 6 to 8 reps on exercises, but like to like failure, like it's more, I'm focusing more on intensity rather than volume. But like my main question is like, I'm aware like nutrition has a huge role to do with it, but as far as training goes, considering how much objective progress I made, is it about time that it take a more like specific approach to training rather than like when you first start off working out, you can pretty much do almost anything and you start making progress compared to like, especially if, as a strength athlete, as you get more advanced, then you have to start doing those like specific things to like really, get yourself to add even just 5 pounds onto the bar, and size too. So like, do you feel like I'm at that point where I need to be more specific with my training?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Especially because you're gonna be doing a powerlifting competition.
So you should be.
Have you followed our Maps Powerlift?
I haven't. No, I was thinking about it with this.
Oh, we need to get you on that.
All right, done deal.
Yeah,
we'll send you that. That's it. You got a program.
Yeah, follow that, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
also with that, I was just going to ask you guys about like volume, because like that was a huge thing. I usually structure my own programs.
That's going to handle all that for you, bro.
Yep.
That's why you're going to follow
You've accounted for all.
Yeah, it's all laid out.
Scales
you literally follow it to a T. Follow that program to a T. It's got everything figured out for you. You just got to do it, and it's perfect because I think it's 12 weeks long, I believe. Right? Is it 12 weeks?
I believe it is.
Yeah. So literally do the cut for the 4 weeks, and then start
and then
that
boom, powerlift. Start powerlift with the bulk.
With the bulk, and it'll take you right to your meet.
Cool. And then my last question is, this is kind of out of powerlifting. This is just like generalized training. Having listened to you guys for so long, and you talk a lot about like functional training. So like, sleds, box jumps, all that kind of stuff. I've always been like a person where I was just focused on building muscle, and like I didn't really see functional training as like, oh, that's probably not going to build as much muscle as like I'd want it to. But now I'm getting into the mindset where it's like, okay, I want to do this for the long term, and I want my body to be as healthy as it can. And so I've been really interested into incorporating it into my routine, but being as my main priority is like building as much muscle and strength as possible, I get worried that, like I said, adding functional training won't give me as much gains as I'd like.
No, that's a myth. Yep. There's a myth that you have to trade, in the short term. I mean, if you're training functional mobility and you're working multiplanar movements, you'll lose a little bit of strength in in other movements you're not practicing. But in the long run, the improvement in mobility and connection,
you're filling in all the holes.
It's going to make you bigger and stronger.
And by the way, perfect program to run after this, right? So literally run powerlift so you're going to cut for 4 weeks, run powerlift in the bulk. When you get out of powerlift, go back to a cut and run performance.
Maps performance. You'll be done. Done deal.
Perfect. And that's that or symmetry you could do, but either one of those. I mean, that performance has more performance-based stuff in there, and it has unilateral work. So I would put you on performance. That's a perfect program to run after that. So run the powerlift program, then performance. Then when you come back around to your powerlifting training, watch how much better you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys for everything. That's pretty much all that I had.
You got it, man.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, brother.
Good luck.
Appreciate the support.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my favorite compliment when they say something like that. That's really nice to hear.
About fatherhood.
Yeah, just, wanting to be a dad now. Like, wow, that's great, because you don't get a lot of that in the media. No, I mean, it's so funny. It's like, it sounds counter, but if all you ever do is bulk, going on a shortcut will get you more muscle.
I wish. What do you say? 6 years straight?
Yeah,
You know,
bro, I went like fucking 12 years straight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I probably did longer than that. And it was so
I'm
funny.
still on the bulk.
It's so funny. I cut, I never did just on accident. I never did like a hard cut until I think the hard, like when I really did a cut was MAPS Anabolic when I created that because I want to look, to put myself on the cover. After that, I was like, what the, like I was building muscle.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business. I couldn't believe it.
I wish someone got a hold of me at his age
Same.
and convinced me to do that
I know.
because it was the best thing I ever did. And I was so stupid to not do that. But again, just shows you how much we are driven by our insecurity of being skinny because anytime
so afraid of a pound.
Oh
coming
yeah.
off the scale.
If I had just 3 to 5 days where I didn't hit calorie intake and I was low and I saw the scale move down a couple pounds, I freaked out.
That's a bucket of chicken
Panic.
from KFC.
Yeah, I was then the very next day I was eating in a massive surplus and back like I just for my whole life. I mean, or most of my life until my late 20s did I actually do that.
Listen,
and then of course you did the cut. I guarantee you had the same thing too.
Oh,
You're cutting, you're down 15 pounds. People are like, damn, you're getting bigger.
yeah.
bro."
Everybody's like, man, you look
you,
jacked.
man. Look at
I'm
him.
like, what? I'm small. What are you talking about?
yeah,
Listen, I was making chicken breast and tuna fish shakes in the blender.
Yeah.
That's how bad I was.